everyone. Welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truest potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. How is everyone today? Welcome to the fifth dimension. I haven't been here in a while, have I? It's August 10th. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know how it's looking on the screen, but for me, it's reversed, so I don't know how it is right now for everyone. If you can see everything clearly. If you can't, please share with me and let me know. I'm coming to you live from New York. Well, I haven't been here in over a week, and you know what? But I'm here now, and that's all that matters. Stuff comes up. It's summertime, and everything seems to be shifting around as always because we're in the moment of the event. And what is the event? The event is a time where there's light coming onto the earth. There are those that are becoming awakened. There's ascension going on, which means that you're raising your frequency to a higher awareness, a higher consciousness, and you are changing whether you realize it or not. And let me remind you, you're a beautiful being of light. Doesn't matter where you live, what you look like, what you have, what you do. You're beautiful as is. Cherish yourself. We have been raised in a culture, a society that is always stressing on us, bringing us anxiety. If you do this, you'll be happy. If you do that, you'll be wealthy. Whatever it is, it's always about making us do something to gain something. But I'm going to share with you right now, in this moment, you are everything that you need to be. And when we can accept ourselves, we're going to get into shadow sides of ourselves. When we can accept ourselves, everything flows. What I'm realizing is that we have to trust the process. And the process is going to be, for each and every one of us, something completely different. So that means that we really can't follow what everyone else is doing. Like I say, don't follow the masses. Don't follow that line of people or that group of individuals, because their desires and their goals are not yours. Which means that you have to go to your own heart. You have to tune into your heart and your inner spirit and realize, through truth, through acceptance and self-confidence, you have to realize and become your most authentic self. Now, so today we're going to get on to topics like the Lionsgate portal. Oh, rats, missed that 2 days ago, but I'm still going to bring it up because there's evidence of the Lionsgate portal, which is right here in this moment, because you know what? Every day can be a portal. You can quantum leap to another timeline any day you choose. It's all a belief system. It's what you allow in. You are the only one who can corrupt your brain. Yes, there is this ability, and it's been through the government and through secret societies of mind control. There's been MK Ultra, which was a program designed by the government to brainwash us and keep us enslaved. But it's up to you. You have the power within you. You can go to the base of your spine. You can pull up all of your energy and send it outwards. And you can embrace yourself, and you can say, guess what? I have the power within me. I'm not looking for anyone to save me. I can save myself. And you can save yourself. So today we're going to talk about the Lionsgate portal, briefly, shadow. The shadow self we have. DARPA, what is that? Well, that's the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Yes, indeed. There's another program by the United States of America government. And I'm going to get into the holographic principle, because we have to become more and more aware. And you know what? We go down the rabbit hole with some of these topics, and maybe you say, I don't really care about that. I know all about that. And then you just tune in another day or whatever you choose. I'm just bringing up topics that I feel will help us, because there's so much that's been kind of under wraps since we've been born and birthed onto this earth because there were those that didn't have their best, they didn't have good intentions for us. And I say, let me remind you to keep track of your dreams when you wake up, write them down. And that's because your dreams are a source for you of information. And I'm not saying you need to go publicize every single thing that happens to you in your dreams, but your dreams can guide you and give you hope. And maybe they can remedy a situation. Your sleeping dreams might tackle an issue that you have while you're awake. And I, in fact, in the last few days have had some really bizarro dreams, but some answers to some issues that I've had personally came right through in my dreams. So I woke up and I had pad of paper next to my bed. I always have a pen or a marker, and I wrote it down. And then I went back to sleep, and it helped give me clarity. So I suggest writing down your sleeping dreams, get a dream journal, or just get a pad of paper, whatever you feel comfortable with, and write down your dreams. I also had some dreams in the last few days that were lucid dreams. So there was something that came through to me, and I've mentioned to you that I've had some of these extraterrestrials contact me. Now, I had this dream that was kind of flushing out of my system a lot of negativity because it landed on the Lionsgate portal, which was 2 days ago. And that was a day, the Lionsgate portal, of cosmic alignment. Have you been feeling in the last few days an influx of energies? Now, if you're not in tune with your system, your emotional capacity, your mental, your physical, and your spiritual, you might not be aware so much. You might say something seems off, and then it dictates to you because of the mind control we've had and because of the fact that we're not in tune with so many of the sensations that are going on in our inner world. And our telepathic abilities, our clairsenses, you might just brush it off and say, oh, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. But you might have received some of these energies, which was an upgrade. And I speak of your DNA blueprint, because you have a DNA blueprint within you that's been dormant. And that's because there's been nothing nurturing it. And we've been living in a place that's been crushing us. And it's all about consumerism. It's all about capitalism. It's all about buy, run to the next goal, whatever's going out here in the outer world, not the inner world. So we've been tricked. The most important thing for you is your DNA. And the last few days has been this Lionsgate portal. And what happened is maybe during your sleep, you started feeling like unsettled, which I did. Not last night, the night before, the night of the Lionsgate portal. I felt like my legs were kind of a little bit vibrating in a sensation. I was unsettled. I kept having these crazy, bizarro dreams. I couldn't remember that. Maybe I was in the astral realm. I don't know. I can't really quite put my finger on it, but I have to tell you, it definitely was a DNA upgrade. How do you get a DNA upgrade? Well, I've spoken about activating. Hey, Deanna. Yes, so have I. You know, it's so funny because, not funny, haha, funny, strange, weirdo, psychic phenomenon, real life phenomenon, crazy. I felt like this very deep exhaustion, and I couldn't figure it out because, look, I did have a cold. I was definitely fighting a cold, and then I didn't go to the gym, and you know I'm a gym rat. I talk about that. I was just getting by, and I felt just tired for no reason. And I think it was the mild cold I had, but it was this whole change that's going on in our environment. And cosmically, we are in the midst of the storm, they say. We're in the storm. What do I mean by the storm? Well, we know there's a lot of disclosure. Now, has everything just all of a sudden rapidly changed into this evil world? Heck no. This evil world has been existing But now it's all of the truth is coming forward. So it just seems and appears out of nowhere that everything's so much worse. But what happens is we're actually on the mends. It's like we're in the middle of getting healed, all of us. And when this is happening, like, for example, this Lionsgate portal, it's a time that we are changing. We are physically, spiritually changing. Now, it's so funny. Yay! It's so funny that I will close my eyes, and it's not an official lucid dream, because the lucid dream is this visual that comes into my sight. Like, I close my eyes, I'm feeling as though I'm hearing, like I say, I hear ringing in my ear or ears, and it's like it's another dimension. And I'm going to get into that. It's another dimension. And so the other night, I close my eyes, and it's like I see this other reality. And how I can explain it to you is there's lots of color, but it's not defined. It's like when someone does a pen and ink drawing. It's like a sketch, but it's detailed. And I have shared with you that I really can't see well. I wear contacts and glasses since I'm in 7th grade. And so when I close my eyes, everything is in detail and I can see perfectly. So I believe that that's where we're going, and that's what's going to happen when we fully embrace all of this outer world embraces, because we're catching up with the 5th dimension, with the 6th dimension. Then we will be living in that world. And I think that we are going to have this advanced abilities. And I've been sharing with you how important telepathy is, how important your clairsenses are, right? And we're going to talk about that at the very end today. And we're going to do like some practice. And I know that that's the world we're going to. It's like we're going to zoom like this all of a sudden. Now, maybe it's going to be the solar flash. Maybe it's going to seem like it happened overnight, but it's gradually through the next couple of weeks and months. And all of a sudden, the world is going to shift, like in a magnanimous way. And all of the dark junk, we're going to talk about the shadow, all of that stuff is going to leave because there's really no place for it. So back to my dreams. I want to share with you, before I get on to the first subject, which is the Lionsgate portal, shadows, DARPA, and the holographic principle, I want to share with you. I did have this dream, and I shared with everyone on Twitter. But since I wasn't here, I couldn't share with you, but now I'm going to share with you. So the night before the Lionsgate portal, I have this dream that I'm on all of these winding locations, and it's like many circumstances, and I come upon this being, and it looks like a lion's face, and I think it was a male, and there's a form of extraterrestrial that's called a what's it called? I wrote it down. It looks like a lion, and it's benevolent, and it has a name, and I'm so sorry, but I'm going to look it up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on. So I wrote, last night I had a dream that seemed like a male lion face. Very funny, wearing clothes, many dimensions existed. There's many locations, super positive messages to me. He was large, bulky, very animated, and enthusiastic. And he was a feline ET. That's what I believe. He was a feline ET. And he was like, I have to say, he was like this, very animated. And it was like he was giving me some kind of information. And I don't remember specifically, but I emotionally felt as though it was a good thing. And then strangely enough, the very next day was the Lionsgate portal, and he looked like a lion. So I just wanted to share with you. And I believe that he must have been some kind of extraterrestrial. At first, I thought it was called Illyrian, but then I realized Illyrian does not have a lion face. So anyway, just wanted to share with you anything that you dreamt about lately or you want to share, tell us in the chat. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'm wishing everyone well before, if in fact you stay on, you'll probably hear me say that a few times, but I'm wishing you well. We're in the summer months. Here we are, August 10th. And we have a lot to look forward to. We should have gratitude for this moment, shouldn't we? Let's remind ourselves. Now, the Lionsgate portal. What's a portal? It's a gateway. Now, we can have gateways throughout our day like that. We can have a portal whenever we choose because it's about our belief system. It's about changing your belief. Because the fact that we have been engaging for entirely our whole lives, unless you were a think out of the box person, unless you were a rebel, you probably were in a lot of capacities carrying around a lot of thought attachments. And these thought attachments were given to you and told to you. You were told what to do, how to dress, who to be, what's expected of you. Now, if we take away all of that, all those thought attachments, we change our belief system. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but one by one, some of the stuff that's holding you back, it's blocking you. You won't be able to get to your portal. You won't be able to travel to the next dimension. You have to do it yourself. Like I say, everything is within you. You have the ability within you to manifest whatever you want, anything, through your thoughts, because thoughts are very powerful, aren't they? We can change outcomes through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions, and our intentions. If we visualize this amazing, amazing dream and desire, and we don't laugh at ourselves, we don't sabotage it, and we definitely don't share it with someone out there in the physical reality, that's a naysayer. Because what are they going to do? They're going to knock it down, and maybe they're jealous. Maybe they can't. Maybe they don't have big, amazing, humongous goals, and they are just stagnant. They're going around the same energetic pattern, talking to the same people, going to the same locations, doing everything the same. Well, if you do everything the same forever, guess what? Nothing is going to change, and nothing great is going to ever happen to you. It's kind of boring, right? We want excitement, we want adventure, and we want to travel and stay in the fifth dimension. All right, so how are we going to do that? How are we going to go through the portal? How are we going to have all our dreams and desires? Well, we have to start with one thing, love. We have to have love for ourselves. And so I'm going to ask you right now to close your eyes, let out a breath. And this is a reminder, and this is a suggestion. You don't have to do anything that I say. It's just a suggestion. They're healing suggestions. Because I would like all of us collectively to be in the fifth dimension. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to let out a breath. We're going to relax. And I'd like you to tune into your heart right now. So that means that you're going to ask yourself how you are. How are you feeling? Now, maybe you're going to have an emotion like very indifferent. Maybe you're going to say it's something great. Maybe it's going to be a lower vibrational, which is like sad, anger, shame, blame, fear, loneliness. And we want to lift that up. We want to lift that up and out. And we want to start by saying that we love ourselves. So if we can't find the love within our heart for ourselves, we want to go to someone in our minds and in our hearts that we love or loves us, so we can connect to that. Now, all of us have a beautiful glowing light that's in our hearts. It's just that we have layers and layers of maybe issues or trauma and something that's preventing us from connecting to it. Everything is very personal. We can't expect anyone out there in the physical reality to want the same things as us or to be looking out for us all the time, because guess what? They're in survival mode too. So right now we are trying to survive, and we're going to start by loving ourselves. So I'd like everyone, I'm going to be quiet for a second, and I want everyone to tune into their heart. ask themselves how they're feeling, and then tune into the love that's in your heart. Like I said, either you have that and you can connect to it, or you remind yourself of someone that you love, and love is going to be someone you cherish, someone you care about. And it brings a positive emotion. A positive, we're looking for joy, looking for light and love. So when I did that just now, I right away tuned in, and maybe I've taken away a lot of the, I guess, the darkness that I've had. And so I can tune in, and I went to some of those in my life that love me and I love them. And it brought a giddiness. Now it might not be that easy for you. You might say, oh, it can't work right now, but it will work. You just have to concentrate and have belief that you can, and take away any doubt. Have some self-confidence. So the Lionsgate portal, this portal day, is a day that the earth, the star, Sirius, and Orion, if I'm saying it right, are in alignment, a portal of spiritual healing and manifesting. So you might have been feeling or are feeling a lot of change and transition. Your energies are transmuting, and more of you is coming out. It's surfacing. As long as you let it, as long as you have an open mind and open heart, you're going to have a chance to kind of manifest whatever you want. So it's cosmic alignment. That's where we are right now. And we are, I guess you could say, we are swinging upward in the direction of everything improving. We are developing, and it's not an overnight experience, and it's how much you're willing to take on. So this portal is a powerful time for vision setting, intentions, and manifesting. So you want to look into whatever excites you. You want to remind yourself what brings happiness to you. Now, you don't have to sit down and dwell in it. We're talking about just taking a moment to reflect. And that would mean that you'd say, what brings me excitement? Now, it doesn't have to be something complex or a big goal or a bucket list suggestion. It might just simply be like you say, oh, like for example, today it's raining. I'm someone that likes to be outside when it's raining. I'm not saying I like the buckets of water to pour on me, but I like being in nature when it's raining. And that's a personal story. Is when I was a little girl, I remember my family was very much consumed with, oh, don't go out in the rain. It's raining. You can't do anything. And so I kind of countered that with, I like to be out in the rain. And I remember one of my little friends' mothers said, put your bathing suits on. You can dance in the rain. So when I was a little girl, I used to love to dance in the rain. So that's one of the things that brings me joy. That makes me a little giddy. And that is actually something that helps me to feel better. So that's something. Morning time, I like to go see a sunrise. And that's all I'm trying to say to you is maybe kind of come up with 1 or 2 or 3 reminders of what makes you giddy, what brings you excitement, what takes away some of the pain. Because the tunnel that we're traveling through in the world right now is a tunnel of change and shift, and this disclosure and the truth being revealed is going to break us down to our simplest, most authentic selves. We're going to have to let go a lot of the past that we've known. We're going to have to release the pain that we've had, because the world that is emerging is going to be a place of peace and hope and just more advanced technologically, more advanced, like your wildest dreams, I should say. So we're going to have to be doing that. So this moment here today in the 10th of August is probably a time for you to maybe give it a chance, take a break, maybe lay down on a couch or a bed or a hammock or someplace alone where you shut everything down, you shut off all your technology, and you kind of come up with what ifs. What if this was different? What if I decided to, and it's something else that you've always thought about doing? And so what I'm trying to share with you is, I'm trying to share with you that this is a period that we're all going through uniformly. Like all of us are becoming one. So when all of us become one collectively, it's going to be a much more powerful world. Because if you look back and you were to say, with all the suffering and all the trauma and all the tragedy and the events that we've been dealing with is a way of breaking us down. So we aren't joined. But if all of humanity was joined, in other words, we were all had the same mission, which is to protect each other, which is to hold each other, which is to hug each other. And it's all peace. Don't you see how that's going to bring us all more power? And we won't be existing individually. We'll be existing as one, as whole, because we really are connected. It's just when everyone goes, oh, Eureka, guess what? I'm connected to my neighbor. I'm connected to that tree out there. I'm connected to one of my coworkers in the Matrix. And when we all kind of come to the same realization, it's going to change. The world is going to change like this. So we are preparing ourselves. So this moment right now is about self-expression. It's about being selfish. It's about saying, what will bring me happiness? What can I do to allow my dreams to come true? What can I do that will make my life easier and happier? So that's what it's really about. You want to step into your most authentic power. Allow yourself to tap into your highest potential. It's big changes, big emotions. This is evidence right now of a fresh start. Now, the 888 is known as an angel number, and 8 is associated with structure and discipline and time to put effort into raising your limitations. So maybe you want to set bigger goals, but then you want to also remind yourself of your gifts, of your abilities. Maybe you're someone that is amazing at drawing a cartoon or singing a song. And it doesn't have to be this grandiose talent or ability. It can be something that you've defined yourself by. You might be someone that is amazing at gardening. Whatever it is, just remind yourself, and also set some bigger plans. Okay. So the angel number 8 is all about living and letting live. So let's embrace change right now. And that's what I want to say regarding the Lionsgate portal. It's a time to put all your effort into raising your limitations and creating positive results, because you have that within you. Nobody else cares out there in the physical reality. Maybe a mom cares about their child. I mean, everyone's just really trying to survive until we all come together, until we all have realized what we have and what we've had within our DNA. It's going to be kind of a lookout for yourself until that happens. Okay, so we're going to get into shadow. Now, what's your shadow self? Your shadow self is the part of you that has not been considered good, or the part that you've hidden and the part of you that maybe you had shame over and you didn't embrace it. And we're right now going to consider and think about maybe we should start to unblock ourselves. And we're going to do that by allowing all of ourselves to come forward. Even the parts that we're embarrassed about, or maybe we were told, stop doing that. You know, that's annoying, or you look better because of this. All of the shame and all of the anxiety and stress that you had about yourself, you want to embrace, because you want to become more of one, just you. You want to take all the duality and make it whole. And so the darker part, your shadow, is blocking the rays of light that's going to come to you, because you are carrying around a vibrational frequency, and that frequency is solely yours. It's like your ID. And you will find that as you start to shift and transform into your most authentic self, you're going to realize that others that you would never have attracted are attracted to you because you're raising your frequency. And how are you raising your frequency? You're raising your frequency by having self-love, by loving yourself, by loving as many out there as you can in the physical reality, by forgiving, by letting things go, by living in the moment, by accepting all of yourself. Because, you know, we can doubt ourselves and then we never quite get there. We never can reach our highest potential because we are fighting our own self. You know, it's all a mind game, isn't it? So we don't want to block the rays of light that are coming towards us. We want to embrace them. The dark area, the darkness is diminished by light, the shadow. So if you block the light source, you're actually giving more attention to your shadow self. So we are split and we are going to come together. All the sides of us, we want to present to the world everything. We want to accept all of ourselves. Because when we accept all of ourselves, then that's when our dreams come true. That's when we bring more positivity into our lives and we attract someone that is just exactly right for you, whether it's an opportunity for a field that you want to go into, or maybe a love interest or a best friend. And it's never too late. And I've heard, you know, because I'm not a kid, I've heard, oh, well, you know, it's too late. It's too late to have this in my life, or it's too late to reach that goal. It's too late because you're not 25. It's never too late. In this moment, you can achieve whatever you want. Yes, we're all a work in progress. However, if you can imagine it and visualize it and you see it, then that means right here in this moment, you can have it. Let's remind ourselves, what is our deepest desire or goal? And let's close our eyes and let's imagine it right here in this moment. And we're going to start by grounding ourselves. So we're going to imagine that hey, Bob Harding, hello. It's important to start the process and accept it. It can be a very long bit reward. Yes. All right. So we are going to imagine our feet firmly planted in the earth's surface, aren't we? Starts with that. We have to ground ourselves. We ground ourselves by remembering where we are. Where are we? We don't want to have our looping thoughts going all over the place, or we're thinking about the next moment or what happened yesterday. We want to be in this moment. When we're in this moment, we can manifest right here and right now. And then it happens like this. It'll happen like this. And it'll change everything for you. And we want to have belief we can make it happen. Oh my gosh, it can happen for me. I know it can. You have to have that much excitement about it. We're going to pull up from the the base of our root chakra. We're going to pull up all of our power that we have. And there's a lot down there. We're going to pull it right up. And we're going to say, oh my gosh, this is exciting. Great things are happening for me. We have to believe. If we sit around and be like, man, all mopey, you're right. It's not going to happen. If we have doubt, it's not going to happen. If we talk to too many people about it, guess what? It's a numbers game. Eventually, someone's going to say, you know what, Mary, you're dreaming. Well, guess what? I want to be a dreamer. I want to be a dreamer. I'm going to be a dreamer. I'm going to be a dreamer for everyone. I'm going to create the most beautiful reality. All right, so here we are. We're imagining our feet firmly planted on the earth's surface. We're letting out a breath, right? And we're going to remind ourselves exactly what we want. If you could come up with the most incredible experience, I don't know, and maybe it's something that you're going to, maybe it's a location, maybe it's a thing. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted this beautiful set of skis, or I wanted to go to this Caribbean island. Whatever it is, I want you to grab onto that thought. And I want you to close your eyes, okay? And we're in this moment and we're saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, I'm here. We're letting out a breath. And I want you to imagine it right here in front of you, right here in this moment. Because if you can imagine it right here in this moment, then you can create it. So what are you imagining? What does it look like? And when I say, what does it look like? What colors are there? What does it feel like if you are touching it? What does it smell like? What are you hearing in an environment? Every single detail. How do you feel? Does it bring you joy? It has to bring you joy. You're going to close your eyes, and I'm going to do it as well. And I am going to be there right there. What is it I want? And you have excitement because you're getting it. You see it, you have it. You're there. Okay? And that's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, so our shadow self, we are split. So we are going to incorporate all of us. And we're going to say, you know what? Guess what? I'm not perfect. I could tell you a million things that are wrong with me. A million things that are wrong with me. Maybe you can't see it on the surface. Maybe I hide it a little bit behind me. But there's a million things wrong with me. And that's okay. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm okay. It's all right. And that's what makes me who I am. I'm a quirky person. Maybe sometimes I get ahead of myself. Maybe I am a little too enthusiastic for some people. You know, there's pros and cons to all of us, isn't there? Maybe I haven't achieved everything I want to, and you'd say, oh, that's not good. There's parts of me. And so we want to present to ourselves, when we accept ourselves, we're going to raise our vibration by doing this. We are raising our vibration. We're loving ourselves. When we accept ourselves, we're loving ourselves. So who do we want the world to think we are? We're going to dispel that. We don't care what the world thinks we are. You know what I always say? It doesn't matter what people say about me. That's none of my business. It's none of my business. I just have to be myself. I have to have confidence with what I'm doing, and I'm doing the best I can. We are going to learn, because as children, certain things were frowned upon within us, and so we weren't allowed to be ourselves. But we are now going to say, you know what? So maybe my mom told me that something I did wasn't good, and so that I hung on to that because it was my mom. Maybe we had a relative or a teacher or a friend or an ex-love, or someone was critical. And that hurt us, because then we were hearing that over and over again. We're going to let all that go. Who cares? We're going to start fresh right here in this moment today. Today in New York, it's 4:12. We're going to start right here in this moment. We're going to start all fresh. We have the Lionsgate portal. We're accepting our shadow selves. We are going to accept ourselves for who we are. So maybe I like to do videos. Some people find something wrong with that. Maybe they say, oh, you're not even that good. Not that many people come on. It doesn't matter to me. This is what I like to do. I'm going to keep doing it. Doesn't matter what people say. So I'm giving you permission. Give yourself permission to accept all of you, right? Doesn't matter what society says. This is the real version of you, okay? Whatever your emotions are, whatever your feelings are, it's normal for you. If someone says to you, well, that's not normal. Maybe it's not normal for them, but maybe it's normal for me. Maybe it's normal for me to cry all the time. Maybe it's normal for me to be sad. Maybe it's normal for me to be happy. Whatever it is for you, give yourself permission to be yourself. Because as soon as you do that, everything is going to be better because it's your truth. And that means you're loving yourself. Whatever your characteristics, whatever your feelings, whatever you repressed that gave you negative responses, you want to accept. So you want to embrace yourself. So we do repress ourselves. We bury the authentic self. And what happens when we do this? This leads to a lot of problems. This can lead to addictions. This can lead to doing naughty things. It could lead to someone as a child that has a speech problem or a mental issue or a neurosis. So we are going to reach for the light. Now we're going to maybe reach for the light out here in the outer world, and we're going to reach for the light inside of us. And we're going to maybe reach for the light in the elements of nature, however you want to do it, whatever resonates with you, because this is how we are going to find peace. We are going to find peace by accepting ourselves. We're not going to find peace by pushing something away or forcing something. You might not like something and you say, oh, well, I have to like it because so-and-so says I should like it. You're not going to have peace that way. We're looking to have peace within our inner life. You know, we're holding space. I've said that before. We're holding space within us for love, for light, for forgiveness, for hope. So when we accept ourselves and embrace ourselves for every part of ourselves, maybe we aren't so proud of, we're going to have more peace. And we're going to have more light. We're going to have more honesty. We're going to have more hope, more virtue, more compassion, more joy. It's getting exciting, isn't it? We're going to have harmony because we want harmony. Hey, Angie. Hello. Hello, Angie. Angie and I had a conversation last night that basically broke in half. First conversation was 30 minutes, and then the rest of the conversation was almost 2 hours because we hadn't caught up with each other in a while. And she is a sweet, beautiful individual, and find her. She does many YouTube videos. You can find her on Twitter and I think Instagram. So who else is here? Deanna, it's never too late. Exactly, Deanna. Exactly. It's never too late, especially because we're awakening now. And you know what? I heard the med beds are around the corner. You know, the med beds already exist. So when these med beds come in, I'm just waiting. I want to have some youthful treatments. I want to hop in that med bed or that med pod, whatever it is, and all of my ailments, all my autoimmunes, and whatever is going to make me younger, make me happier, make me fresher, whatever it is, I want the med beds. And it's going to probably awaken a lot of people. Hi, Ian. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Coming live from New York. I hope everyone likes the video and subscribes. And share with me anything that you have, your thoughts. I try to read the chat and kind of stay on top of it, but sometimes I get distracted and I don't want you to think I'm not reading it because I am. I try to read it in the moment. Angie is she's a chef. She has a brand. She creates food. She's amazing cook. You can watch her doing that. That is not one of my gifts. I'm going to own that. I can do light cooking. And if I have a recipe, I will try. So we're going to embrace all of our darkness, aren't we? And we are going to create harmony and a deeper understanding for ourselves. When this all happens for you, when you are awakening, all of you, and you are realizing there's more to me than I thought, you might begin to, some of the parts of you that were oppressed, there might be some kind of memory attached, and it might be a little unpleasant. And you might be seeing it from an adult perspective, so it might not harm you as much as it was in the past, and that might be why you repressed it. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying any of this is easy. But the world is changing. So this is where we're going. So let's keep moving, right? We are in process. This is a process. It's not an overnight change that's going to occur in the world and within us. It's a transition. So I'm going to bring up dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is something that happens after you become awakened and a lot of your past traumas and issues surface. And it's like all of that stuff that you were saying, I don't need to deal with it. I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to shove it in the closet. I'm going to stuff it down within me. I can't look. And all of a sudden you're like a minefield. Someone can trigger you because you haven't dealt with this emotionally. Or you might be like, for me, it was almost like I was trying to, I don't want to know that. I don't want to remember that. I'll go over here. You're basically doing a lot of ducking. I'm getting out of the way. That person's triggering me. Go over here. And it gets pretty difficult. So dark night of the soul, it's kind of a mystical experience that you undergo. And it's basically shifting yourself into alignment. And you become more clear, and then you start to have more premonitions. You start to have more psychic phenomenon. You become more telepathic. And can you ask for this to come forward? Of course you can. Everything that I'm saying today is an opportunity for you to activate something within you that will bring it forward. When you ask for something to come into your life and you really, really mean it, it will find its way into your life. And it might not be the most pleasant experience. You say, oh my God, what am I in for? But you asked for it. Like, I don't have any regrets with anything that I've done, I guess, pretty much ever in my life, because that's where I was in that moment. I don't have any regrets because whatever I was enduring or going through is something that was meant for me. And like attracts like. So that's the experience that I was supposed to have that day. And hopefully we learn and we have lessons. And that's what dark night of the soul is. It's like us dealing with our stuff and our lessons. And it's a connection to divine source. So you're transforming into what is meaningful. And we're letting go of our ego. Now, a lot of us are kind of, not maybe you and I, but if we want to say the masses, there's so much that we have to realize that is about our ego, which is, I'm embarrassed. And I'll give you an example. So in my job in the Matrix, I want no more jowls. What does that even mean? Oh, you in the med bed. For example, and I'm sharing my truth. So in my job, I've told you that I manage a store and I manage something else. And guess what? There'll be people walking by outside and I'll be vacuuming. And that's like, oh my gosh, like I'm vacuuming, because that's part of what one of my tasks are. And like, okay, it's kind of embarrassing you're vacuuming, but you know what? That's part of my job. So I have to let go of my ego. Like, am I too good to vacuum? No. Like I have to be able to do everything, right? And not think anything is below me. And so I'm giving that as an example. That's a personal experience. So we kind of have to let go of our ego, which is I'm too good for this, or I'm too good for that, or I'm only worthy if I have a certain piece of jewelry or a certain piece of clothing, or if I have a certain job, whatever it is that you've kind of attached to your ego. We kind of have to become those out there that are egoless, so that we are not blocking ourselves, I guess you could say, and we aren't looking for the bigger picture, because we are all connected, and the bigger picture is what is important. Nature's important, forgiveness, love, hope, that kind of thing. So we kind of want to break down everything, maybe the past memories through dark night of the soul, and you might have events that surface, and we're going to totally shift our identity. All right, so let's get on to what is DARPA. What is DARPA exactly? Well, I've shared with you like some kind of pictures, of something more technologically advanced, and or I've shared with you, this looks like almost like something that is a teleportation device or a time machine. And what exactly is DARPA? And I kept hearing that on Twitter. I kept reading that. I sit there and I scroll through Twitter, which it's funny, I go through stages. I don't know if you have, if you like traveling down the rabbit hole, you listen to certain podcasts. And I spoke about this with Angie last night, how we kind of are excited about certain YouTubers or truthers, and then we move on to someone else because we've gained that insight. So what exactly is DARPA? Well, DARPA is Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. It is part of the US government. And DARPA, I was very surprised. I didn't know what it was. And then after I read it, I said, oh my gosh, I can't believe what they're involved in. And I'll give you some examples. Let me tell you where it first came from. So DARPA, like I said, is the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. It was created by Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1958. So what exactly is it? Well, it's about the emerging technologies for use by the military. They call it the Department of Mad Science. And from DARPA has come ideas like Project Bluebeam, 5G, DARPA patents, mind control, bioweapons. And here's some examples. So let's be aware. Why am I bringing this up? Because I was going to use the word skepticism, but I don't believe I'm a skeptic. I think that I am more of, like I say, a truther and someone that wants to share, because I like to know all the boundaries of a situation so I know where I fit. Or, I guess it's almost like how I alert myself of danger. So I see something that to me seems like danger, Will Robinson. Have you ever watched Lost in Space? Danger, Will Robinson. And then I say, like, this might be something that I need to know so that I have awareness. And so that's what I realized DARPA is. Because, I too was someone who believed, oh my gosh, the government cares about us and they're just doing good deeds for us and they're protecting us. When in fact, I realized that maybe not, that's not the case. Now, am I there at DARPA, knowing and seeing DARPA in person? And I say I have to see things with my own eyes. No, I'm not seeing it in the physical reality. I'm not at the offices of DARPA. I'm just researching and finding out information to share with you, to know for myself, that I find extraordinary. So here's some examples. And maybe you're going to say, So DARPA here in 2021, it was known as a team of researchers developing event-based infrared camera technologies, emerging sensors with demonstrated advantages. So basically, they have created infrared camera technologies, which means, I believe that means that they can look, I don't know if it's through a satellite, but they can look into your home and they can see everything that's going on through the walls, right? They say they can see through the walls. Now, I know we have heard, the Alexa, which is this little monitor that you can say, Alexa, turn on, and you name a certain musical station or a song. And Alexa is actually, like our phones are, really a way of keeping track of us and knowing. And we think, there's so many of us that the government doesn't know. The government knows everything. That's why there's called Mr. Smiths, Agent Smiths, if you ever saw the movie The Matrix. And what is Agent Smith? Agent Smith is walking around with sunglasses on and a suit and a tie, and they show up every time someone's trying to block government agencies. That's in The Matrix. You can watch the movie The Matrix, and there's Agent Smiths. It's a real thing. And that's kind of what the government does do. They send out agents to keep control of us. Okay, that's one thing, the infrared cameras. Here's some other things. Gene editing technologies. Doesn't that sound familiar? Gene editing technologies. And it's called DIGET. So DARPA is creating, isn't that transhumanism? Something that what is it? The WEF is trying to do? Isn't that what they're trying to do with certain medications? Isn't this something that they're trying to put into our systems so that we are no longer organic, change our DNA? Well, apparently DARPA's involved with that. DARPA explores and explored the 5G. Here we go. So this is where all of this is coming out from. There are these programs and there's this experimentation. Now, maybe it's in the DUMS tunnels that's been going on. They slice human DNA and mix it with a pig or some kind of frog. Have you ever seen that video? I've seen that video. And they've been doing this DNA gene editing. So don't just think it's sci-fi. It's not. So DARPA mind control. We know that DARPA is exploring human-machine interfacing that includes direct connections between the brain and outside systems. Here we go, which means that they are putting something in our brains, whether or not they're sending it with a machine or they're putting a little chip in our brain so that they can connect to our thoughts and change our thoughts. This is a real thing. This is not made up, just so you know. Yes, the doors are loud where I live. You can hear that. That's not just a mirage that's going on. Now, Siri came from DARPA. You know, on your phone when you're like, Siri, what street is, or you ask a question, what year was Abraham Lincoln born? Siri came from DARPA. It's all from the government of the United States of America, right? So just be aware. They also have an artificial intelligence center, and it's an offshoot from the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Project, DARPA. So Siri, known as Virtual Assistant, is part of Apple Inc.'s using voice queries, gesture-based control. It's a spin-off from SRI International Artificial Intelligence. So here we go. Just so you know, all of this stuff that we think is, I don't know, like not connected is all connected. And all of the things I just listed are all ways to control us, aren't they? Siri, it's a way of keeping track of what we're looking into. Like, for example, someone I know said to me at my job in the Matrix yesterday, they mentioned jury duty, and then in a conversation, and then sure enough, she gets invited for jury duty. I was just watching a show actually on Amazon called Jury Duty. It's pretty funny. But like, how did that happen? The very next day, because they're listening. So 5G, gene editing technologies, a lot of mind control, brain chip technology, which is neural engineering system. DARPA did that. DARPA's come up with, what does this say, Angie? Makes me think of Montauk. Yes, Montauk is MKL Ultra, right? And that's probably was under DARPA, right? Because 1958, when was MK Ultra? Was that before 1958? I'm trying to remember the year. Anyway, it's all related, right? So there are these neural implants that they're talking about putting in our brain, a brain chip to provide unprecedented signal resolution and data transfer for your bandwidth between the brain and the digital world. Isn't that something we don't want? I don't want this artificial man-made stuff put in my brain. No, thank you very much. I want to make my own decisions. I want freedom. Now, do I believe that this is going to hold up in the next 5 years? No. I think it's on its way out. Maybe I'm a little late bringing this topic up, but it came before me, and I guess it's also putting all the puzzle pieces together. And I was talking about something else, and I just discovered this. So there you go. And what I do want to remind you before I get on holographic, because we hit the 1 hour mark, because it's time for psychic phenomenon. But I want to bring up angels. You know, there's an angel that looks like an archangel. There's Archangel Michael. There's Archangel Uriel, Archangel Gabriel. And these archangels, what exactly are they doing? These archangels are fighting darkness. They're fighting satanic energies. They are fighting whether or not they are humans or not humans. Now, I don't know if you believe in extraterrestrials. I've spoken about extraterrestrials. I don't know if anybody out there believes in extraterrestrials. I actually do now believe that there is something called extraterrestrials. Even before we had this UFO hearing before Congress, and I mentioned that in the last 10 days. I don't know if you saw that. And I did a video about it, and there were 3 whistleblowers, and it was disclosure. It was a soft disclosure, soft release, because what ended up happening after that was, after the UFO Congress hearings, it seemed to be that everyone was speaking about it. In fact, those out there that have said to me, "Oh, Mary, you're such a conspiracy theorist," were saying to me, "What do you think? What do you think?" And I was like, hold on right now. You're asking me what I think? You've been telling me for years, like, I'm out of my mind, but now you want to know. What do I think? And I got a chance to actually say something that I've been not expressing, which is closing down my throat chakra by not expressing my thoughts. And I got a chance to say it. Anyway, this UFO hearing with the 3 whistleblowers was a way for all of us to be, I guess, you and I may be validated, or those who believe in UFOs, maybe you're a contactee, maybe you had a UFO encounter, or and what I mean by that is you saw a spaceship, or you had some kind of contact telepathically with an extraterrestrial, or you had a dream about a spaceship, whatever it may be. We realized this is possibly a real thing. And why did they do that? Well, they're probably going to try to do this Project Bluebeam, which is another government project through DARPA, when I was just speaking about DARPA. And that is about holograms. And I'm going to get into the holographic principle, which is kind of technical and I don't really understand it. Maybe you will. I'm just going to try to shed some light on what that is. Now, during the hearing, the reason I'm bringing it up is the one government official who is an intelligence agent mentioned the holographic principle during his testimony. Now, you can watch the UFO hearing. It's only an hour and a half long. It's not that difficult if you're curious. So David Grush, who I'm referring to, the U.S. Air Force veteran, said non-human origin technical vehicles and dead pilots. And that was basically giving confirmation that UFOs and extraterrestrials exist, and our government does have them intact. And he spoke about the classified committees that he was on with knowledge of reverse alien technology. So, like, what about these possible extraterrestrials and possible spaceships? Now, I carry around and I look at, here's an example. Is this an extraterrestrial that you might see? Are they going to like knock on our door and walk in? I'm waiting for that moment. I've been contacted by extraterrestrials telepathically. Like, I've closed my eyes and they came through. In fact, some evil ones came through the other night during the Lionsgate portal, the eve of, and it was like beings that looked like this came through. And so I closed my eyes and they came through and they disappeared. 3 or 4 of them did. This is considered this is what a reptilian looks like. And out in the world, other truthers claim that there are reptilians that live in the dumbs, and they've been living in the dumbs. And we have pacts and contracts with extraterrestrials, off planet and on planet. Government officials do. Just putting this out there. I don't know if you believe this. So it's a possibility. Now, what is holographic principle? I'm going to give you some technical descriptions of it, and it's good to have awareness because we might in the future be hearing more about this. I just mentioned Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is this government project that was going to be pulled up at the last moment to try to gain power over us. Now, the fact that the 3-dimensional world timeline and the 5-dimensional timeline has basically divided. So those out there, beings out there that want to remain in the 3-dimension, which means that they want to be told what to do. They have accepted and they are relinquishing power to dark forces, to Luciferian beliefs, and which might include crimes against humanity, or I guess criminal acts, satanic rituals, that kind of stuff. And then there are those that are on the side of light and love and angels, the angels that come from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. And they are here to guide us. They're messengers. And so the world has divided. And in a last effort to gain control or to gain back power, the dark state and the secret societies have decided that they're going to do this Project Bluebeam. And Project Bluebeam is going to be events, which they say maybe they're going to do away with some of us humans. And they're going to have us, and I say they, I meant the government, is going to make us believe that there is an invasion of extraterrestrials, of aliens. And that is going to be a way of putting fear in us. Now, is this going to happen, and how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to do this through advanced technology. Is this going to happen for sure? Maybe. Just saying. So the holographic principle is a holograph analogy where the 3-dimensional images are created by projecting light through a flat screen. And I've heard that from a satellite, they're able to project a holograph into our world so it looks like something's existing here. Now, we know that they've been using CGI in movies, and that a film can be 90% CGI, which they have masterfully created videos with images or actors or humans we believe are doing certain activity when they might not be. And they can do that through CGI and editing and technology. Are they going to, is DARPA, is the US government going to show us this fake alien invasion? So I kind of got into the holographic principle, which is, it's a tenet of string theories and supposed property of quantum gravity that states that the description of a volume of space can be thought as encoded on a lower dimensional boundary to the region. So basically, we are believing that something is there at the boundary of another dimension, if that makes any sense. I'll keep reading. Now, I'm not telling you I know exactly what this means. That the informational of tenet of all objects that have fallen into the hole might be entirely contained in surface fluctuations of the event horizon. And I've been hearing that too, the event horizon. So it's something that is happening maybe on the cusp of a black hole or the cusp of an event. See, like I'm saying, it's a little complicated. Holographic principle. So a hologram has the illusion of depth. And a hologram, we can see, if you watch one of these movies, there's a movie, and I believe that holograms are going to be something that is in our future. I truly believe that. I've had visions of this. And a hologram is in this movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report. And he's at the police station, and in comes these holograms, which it looks like it's a real person, but it's kind of some kind of illusion that they're there, but you know they're not. I believe this is how we're going to advance. I believe in our future, we're going to receive technology in our homes that aren't going to be through the internet, isn't going to be through our phone, it's going to be through a hologram. And I think that's what this Project Bluebeam is going to do. So the holographic principle suggests that the contents of the universe originates as mathematics encoded on a boundary surrounding the entire cosmos, if that makes any sense. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe. Okay, so where did this holographic principle come from? In 1990, Leonard Susskind showed that many of the laws of physics can be described mathematically using 2 dimensions rather than 3. So it's basically tricking us, okay? And you can manipulate the second dimensional boundary. So we are believing something's there that's not, or we are aware that it's not, but I think that's where our world is going to. And that the manipulation of the second dimensional boundary represents our 3-dimensional universe coding information into the boundary that can materialize in our 3-dimensional world. So it creates through maybe a satellite, through some kind of light. They're doing it through some kind of light and technology that it's coming into this physical reality. Now, dimensions. I'm going to get into dimensions, and then we're going to do psychic phenomenon because I hit past the 1-hour mark. And you're probably tired of hearing me talk about all this. Dimensions. What is a dimension? I say we can travel to another dimension, maybe during our psychic phenomenon. Maybe you travel to another dimension during your sleeping state. I know that I've traveled to other dimensions in the last few days since the Lionsgate portal. And I use the word dimension all the time. I see the 3D dimension, the 5D dimension, timeline. So our dimension right here that we see through our eyes in this physical reality, which is really only 1% of what exists, right? That's why I like to tune into our senses, because that's everything else that exists. Now, as humans, when you're organic, and I say, when we take away the drugs, we take away the alcohol, we take away the addictions, and we're just our most authentic, organic selves, our most natural selves. If we are open, if we are allowing, we can receive so much information into our systems. Now, it'll come by through like a flash, a few seconds. You want to grab onto that. And some of it is very difficult to grab onto. I've realized that. I'll say, oh, I want to tune in. I want to get more and more and more, know more. And we can only, because we're not used to it, hold on to it, these sensations for very short periods of time. As we advance, I believe we're going to be able to stay there longer. Like as you're raising your vibration and your vibrational frequency to a higher dimension, where you're staying in love longer, you're staying in peace longer, you're staying in hope longer, your most authentic self. The more you do that, the more you raise your vibration, the more that you can have concentration during this psychic phenomenon. So the dimensions, like this dimension I'm in right now, is a spatial, it's a spatial extent. So it's the width, it's the height, it's the length. That's what dimensions are. And we know that to be the 3-dimension, right? Three coordinates. It's width, height, and length, okay? It's a property of space, dimensions. So dimensional, when I say this is dimension, like the 3D dimension, dimensional realms of existence that are here, the realms of existence maybe you're traveling to from dimension to dimension, while at the same time that dimension gains increased access to higher realms and higher heavens. So we want to stretch ourselves as far as we can. We want to stretch ourselves to other dimensions. We want to stretch our abilities. Do you think it's that difficult? It's not. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to stretch ourselves. We just have to practice. So let's do some psychic phenomenon. Maybe you're going to meet one of these guys. Maybe you're going to meet an Andromedan. Maybe you're going to travel through a time machine. We spoke about the Merkaba in the past, which is an ancient light vehicle. How are we going to do all this? Well, we are going to activate our most authentic self by accepting all of our shadow characteristics. We're going to tune into love within our hearts. And we are going to live in the moment and have gratitude. We're going to let go of anything from the past. Any thought attachments you have, let go. Be in this moment with me. Okay? Now, we know that we have all of our chakras, right? 7 in our body, 5 outside of our body that reach all the way to universal chakras. And you're connecting to ancient realms, off planet. Have you been practicing your psychic phenomenon? I asked you last week, I said, please, can you practice outside of here with me? And I said, I better do what I say. I better do, if I'm suggesting that to them during a video, then I need to be doing it myself. So over this past weekend, I spent a lot of time alone. And I went to the beach, and I was on the beach, and I did it myself. I tuned into others. I closed my eyes, and I said, what do I hear beyond this realm? Because I was by the ocean. I was by the water, so it's very peaceful. We can learn more and hear more and experience more when we're at peace. So when we are doing psychic phenomenon, my suggestion to you is, here we go, let's do it together. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to let out a breath. We are going to put all of our weight in our bottoms. And maybe you're laying down, maybe you're sitting up. And we are going to do that because we don't want to be holding on to anything. The more that we are relaxed in our physical bodies, then the more we will be able to acknowledge and realize whatever sensations come through. I'm going to share with you, in the last few days, I must have been upgraded. My DNA must have been upgraded. My blueprint, my dormant DNA must have been upgraded because I received, without even thinking about it, psychic phenomenon. And I bet you will too. All right, so we're putting all our weight in our bottom. We're imagining our feet are firmly planted in the earth's surface, aren't we? Maybe your root chakra, which is the base of your spine, you're going to imagine that's deeply planted in the earth's surface. A through line all the way up through all our chakras, right? And we're letting go of any thoughts that we have. We're letting go of doubt. We know we can do this. We can do this. Any thought attachments? And we're going to do some inhales and exhales. It's crucial to relax our breathing, to calm our spirit down, to come from a place of stillness, to experience the most psychic phenomenon. Now, everything that you receive today is meant for you. And I'm going to share with you, I know this because of my past, being around mediums and psychics and intuitives, that when you accept everything that comes through to you, then you will get more. Okay? So let's do 3 inhales and exhales, and let's hold it for a 9 count. Inhale. So we're inhaling for 9 count, holding it for 9 count, exhaling for 9 count. Just stay with me because this is going to work today. All right, so let's do that right now. Okay, so hopefully you have more peace, more quiet. If you choose to close your eyes, close your eyes. If not, you can leave them open, whatever resonates with you. And now I'd like you to push away any thoughts, drop down into your physical vessel, have concentration and focus. And I'm going to remind you to tune into your hearing, your clairaudience. So when I say that, you're not pushing, you're just acknowledging. So I'm hearing, I'm really focused on my hearing as far as I can hear beyond the walls of the room, maybe out into the galaxy, because we want to push a little bit, reach beyond our limitations, like we spoke of earlier when we were speaking about the Lionsgate portal, beyond our limitations. And that's how we are going to gain more insight. So let's hear beyond the walls of the room as far as you can hear. For me, I'm hearing outside the rain. What are you hearing? And when you practice this, you're going to start to hear more realities, more dimensions, more realms. All right, now I'd like you to tune into your third eye. Have you activated your third eye? Maybe you place a crystal. You close your eyes and place a crystal. Maybe you're asking, you're reaching, you're saying, I really want to activate my third eye. I want to be clairvoyant. I have no doubt I can be. It's a possibility. You want to believe in yourself. Have a willingness. If you can't, if that doesn't work, maybe you're tapping and you're saying, I want my third eye to activate. Maybe you're making a little circle with your finger. Whatever it is that resonates for you. If you would like, you're just asking, please, I want to be clairvoyant. I want to know. I want to connect to other realms. I want to be able to ask a question, receive an answer. You have a knowing. All of these senses are related to a knowing, a sixth sense. Now, all of us have a capacity to master at least one clairsense, 3, maybe all of them. Now I'd like you to tune into your clair empathy, your clairsustenance. What are you feeling? Can you ask yourself, and in 1 second flat have an answer? What's your emotion? And if we want to connect to all of these, we're creating a triangle, which is very powerful. 3 clairsenses at once, which is claircognizance. Now, you might only want to just tune into one, then maybe it's sense of touch, maybe it's sense of smell, maybe it's sense of taste, whatever you feel like. And now I'm going to make a suggestion. So let me remind you, dropping down into your physical vessel. All your weight is in your bottom. You're letting out a breath. You're relaxing. You push away any doubt, any thoughts, and you're tuning into your clairsenses, right? And I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to tune into, I haven't done this in a while, it's good practice. I'm going to tune into my hearing and my touch. And my suggestion to you today is, what do you see with Project Bluebeam? Is there going to be a fake alien invasion? And do you see it? Now, you're all gifted. I know you can do this. Are you hearing, seeing, feeling? All of the above. I'm going to be quiet. What do you see? Is there going to be a fake alien invasion? What are you receiving? What impressions? Okay, so I received something. I don't know if you received anything. This is interesting. So what did I receive? And I really tried to connect and drop any kind of control or any thoughts, because sometimes our minds take over the answer to the question or the suggestion, and we're not getting impressions. We're just getting thoughts, and our thoughts are based on what we know, what we see, not the truth, because we've been tricked. So interestingly enough, I saw a vortex. And I mentioned earlier a black hole. And I used to be obsessed with vortexes, and vortexes, when you look at water go down a drain, that's a vortex. A tornado is a vortex, right? It's circling down. And I saw a vortex. And then I heard that everything dark, and I believe, I don't know, like this sounds bizarre what I'm about to say, that whatever is created is going to escape through this vortex. Like, I shouldn't say escape, it's going to be removed through a vortex. In other words, it's going to just leave our universe, which to me means that whatever transpires with this fake alien invasion is going to be removed. Now, I don't know if it's going to be removed by natural events, if it's going to be removed by some kind of advanced technology or off planet. Now, I did see people running and screaming. I don't know if that's something that's fake too. I don't know if it's going to a fear tactic. So did anyone else receive some kind of experience with this psychic phenomenon? Share in the chat or put in a comment if you watch this video after. All right, so one more thing I would like to do before we go, and this is very helpful to all of us, and I know it is to create a ball of light. So when we create a ball of light, we rub our hands together, we take our hands away from our face, we rub our hands together. We should feel, when we take our hands apart, we should feel some kind of friction on our hands, some kind of sensations. And then if you want to cup your hands, and when we create light, a ball of light, we are bringing light into our physical reality. And when you do this, maybe you're going to enhance your ability for healing. You might be bringing more positivity into your physical reality, maybe because it's right close to your body, because how far can we reach our hands? We're in our human energy field. Maybe you're going to be able to explore more of your dreams and desires through this light, because this ball of light is energy, and you're bringing positive energy into your physical reality. Okay? So I'm going to hold the light, and then I'm going to make some suggestions, because I feel like this will fortify all the suggestions that I'm about to say. My suggestions for you would be to practice on your own, closing your eyes, tuning into your heart, and asking how I feel. The more that you are aware of your emotions, the more that you will be able to overcome any obstacles in your life. I'm also going to make a suggestion to sit down with paper, crayons, paints, pencils, and let go of any control with your hands and draw and paint and use your imagination. That is something that if we had all been nurtured to do, we probably would all be able to paint beautiful paintings and create a better world. And if we can physically draw out into the universe something that is lovely and beautiful, then we are actually going to bring more energy, positive energy into the world. So that's my suggestions for you today. So put some light out here into the physical reality. I'm Mary Amy. I'm going to put my hands together. And I'm wishing everyone a wonderful evening. I am working on these videos for Roku channel. And my first video is about telepathy. And then I'm also doing some interviews and some other topics. And as I'm doing those, I will mention them, but I'll let you know when the Roku channel is up. I'm going to have, I'm part of a network. So I'm going to have my own channel. So everyone, I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it, and you're making a wish. And I want good things for you. And let's see, I'm closing my eyes, and I'm imagining a foot-wide band of light that's surrounding everyone who's here today. And you're making a wish, good things for you, and I'm spinning it clockwise and counterclockwise. And you can do this for yourself. This is like a Merkaba ancient light vehicle. You can spin light around yourself or imagine light spinning around you. And I keep getting this very strange sensation on the bottom of my foot. It's very strange. I don't know what's going on. And I'm spinning light around you, and you're making a wish. I want good things for you. You're a cherished being of light. You're worthy. It doesn't matter where you live, what you look like, what you have, what you do. as is right here in this moment. Have gratitude. You're here, you're alive, you're breathing. Acknowledge all of your beautiful characteristics. You have at least 3, a minimum of 3. You probably have 100. So let's embrace our shadow selves. Let's travel down the rabbit hole and be aware of what's out there. Let's remind ourselves that we are in the midst of a portal. It's a massive shift to light, and we can reach our highest potential in any given moment. It's by letting go of a belief system, letting go of a thought, changing ourselves by basically accepting all our shadow characteristics. So everyone be well. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.